One.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four podcast. We don't have Alex today, but after a 2-week absence, Luke has come back, and we hadn't heard from him about 4 days. We reported last week.
My phone died.
Yeah, interesting development there, but he is back today. And we're going to start with Michigan State hiring Mel Tucker. That happened shortly after our podcast last week, so we didn't talk about that last week. What do you guys have to say about them hiring Mel Tucker?
Yeah, well, I don't know much about him. Seems like he has history with Michigan State, so it seems like a decent hire fit-wise. We'll see how he can recruit. But, first of all, I'm horrible about the entire Michigan State school on their coaching search. Like, none of them has ever done a coaching search before. They all wanted to stay. And second of all, what a job by Mark Antonio, absolutely finessing the school out of $4.3 million. That was the most impressive thing about this whole thing. Stays on so he can get his bonus and then says he's going to retire. What a guy.
Well, did you hear the story, Luke?
Yeah, they started a coaching search and he got all mad, so he said, see ya.
Yep. If that's true, he deserved to be fired if that was true. He didn't even deserve to step down. Should have been fired on the spot.
Well, Chris, what are your thoughts?
Oh, Mike, go ahead. I'm leading today, so I'll go last. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. Well, I'll just talk about the process first. I mean, it was a absolute debacle of a process. I don't think anybody would deny that. But I think we got a guy. He's experienced. He's a local guy. He's got a lot of pipelines. He's got, he can recruit well. He's done it in the past. He's coached at some big SEC schools. He's coached at the next level. So I feel like it's a great hire in terms of that. It's really the rest of the job. It's we haven't seen much of him as a head coach. We don't know how good of a game manager he is. We don't know a lot about him. He went one season as a head coach, went 5-7. But I do know a couple things about him. He is a ball of energy. A complete opposite of D'Antonio. He has already gotten this franchise to believe, or this fan base to believe. And he's proven that he's a good recruiter, and he's proven that he's a proven coach over the years. He's coached Nick Saban a couple times under Saban, under Kirby, in the NFL a couple times. But I thought the hire was pretty good. As for the tweet, I really don't give a crap. That's not my problem that Colorado got. I don't even care. If Colorado really cared about football, they'd show up. Their fans would show up for the game, and they never show up for games. So
Michigan State who had 10 people show up to the senior night game.
Yeah, well, that's
Michigan State who didn't even fill the stadium when they played Michigan in a ranked game 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's not true, first of all, and second of all, it doesn't even matter.
It's true.
No, it's not true. They couldn't fill the student section.
Oh, good. Nobody cares about football. That's why.
No, it's because
they're all at Tom Izzo's press conference.
Well, the problem with that is Tom Izzo goes to every football game. Must have been, I don't know, who knows. But it was a hell of a hire. And shout out to the school for actually opening up the pocketbooks, opening up the checkbook, and paying some real money for once. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm not questioning it. No, I'm not quite. Listen, who knows? You never know. But well, we
Something you've loved to hear.
got the money. We have the second highest salary pool for assistant coaches in the Big Ten, which is an accomplishment for Michigan State football. We can spend money freely now without worrying about paying 68-year-old assistant coaches who don't recruit. So it feels good about that. Feels good. Feels like the program's in the right direction. And in about 4 or 5 years, we'll be competing for Big Ten championships. Fortunately, hindsight's 2020. We should have fired D'Antonio after the playoff year. Should have just got rid of him. Should have hired PJ Fleck back then. We'd be in a much better spot right now. But it's unfortunate that it went that way and kind of screwed over the university. I think if he retired after the bowl game, they would have gave him the $4 million bonus. That was something he earned. But nope, he decided to screw over the school. And there you go. And now ESPN's mad at Michigan State for absolutely no reason. How about Richard Jefferson going on ESPN calling Michigan State Michigan Snake? What a joke he is. They absolutely hate Michigan State. Everybody on ESPN hates Michigan State. It's a joke. Game day should not have been allowed to come. They should have just said, no, you're not allowed to come because you've absolutely destroyed our reputation. And that was one of the reasons why Fickle didn't come, probably. I mean, it's a joke.
Well, that's what happened when game day went to Ohio State. They had to do it from inside the stadium because no one showed up to be the fans.
Exactly. It's an absolute. The Big Ten should just not allow ESPN to do anything. They should kick ESPN off everything because ESPN. No, they hate the Big Ten. Absolutely hate. Everybody hates Michigan, so it doesn't matter about that. But yeah, very good hire. We'll be running the state in 5 years, so can't wait till that time.
You guys are in baseball right now, Mike.
Yep, well, we are number 1 in the state record-wise. We have a topic on that?
No.
How about Bryce Kelly leading the country in hits?
Okay. All right. Thank you for that thieving pile of crap that you just went on for the last couple minutes, Mike. Thank you. So let's take a look at Mel Tucker. So Michigan State's not their first choice.
Yeah, he was actually, because we didn't actually offer Fickle, so technically he was our first choice.
So you look at last year, a very, very successful year at Colorado, 5-7.
Yeah, you're gonna go off 1 year.
Nice year at Colorado.
Yeah, Juwan Howard's having a tough year at Michigan this year.
They beat Nebraska. Lost to Air Force. Good loss there for him last year.
Hey, I will say that playing the service academies, that's always tough. Michigan would know.
Lost to Washington State, 41-10. Nice.
Well, if you're going to take something off of 1 year of coaching, then I can't talk to you. You're irrational.
That was just to get you going. But here's my actual argument. You talk about how great of a recruiter he is, and
great recruiter. Yep.
You're going to keep saying that, and I know you have no evidence for that.
Hey, Chris. At Stanford, Jim Harbaugh, first year, 4-8.
Exactly.
He's a terrible coach.
Just saying.
He's a terrible coach.
Is he better than Mel Tucker? Who's worse?
Who's worse than Harbaugh?
Is Tucker worse than Harbaugh?
Oh, no, that's not possible.
Oh, okay. Harbaugh's a great coach.
So you go look at, I know Mike's just going to keep saying he's a great recruiter. He's going to keep saying it, and just keep this in mind to our viewers. He will keep saying it, and he will have no evidence. He's just going to keep saying it.
We already offered a couple guys. A couple guys we already offered. He's already on the recruiting trail.
Congratulations, he offered some people. Wow. Okay, so you go look at some of these.
Come on.
What was his recruiting class like at Colorado?
Yep. Here we go.
35th.
No.
To make my argument fair, to be fair, you have to take it with a little bit of grain of salt, because if it was his first year, he probably got coaching change, so he got a little bit screwed. But
no.
Yep.
You look at Colorado here, and I know I'm on 247 Sports right now. Last year's recruiting rankings. I know the brilliant recruiter Mel Tucker, 35th in the country.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, but what were the guys they got? The rankings don't really mean much. It's
3 4-stars and 21 3-stars.
It's not bad.
Okay, this is
better than D'Antonio.
Keep in mind that's middle of the pack in terms of Power 5 at one of the lower Power 5 jobs in the country.
Colorado was the top 10 team a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they've had one winning season in 14 years. So
Kansas was a top 10 team when they had one big fat.
Let's go take a look at some of the teams they were out-recruited by, some of the brilliant coaching minds that out-recruited Mel Tucker.
it's his first season. What is he supposed to do?
Jeff Brom out-recruited Mel Tucker.
Okay, well, Jeff Brom has like a million resources.
Mike Loxley out-recruited Mel Tucker.
Okay, Maryland is a talent-rich area. I'd be able to out-recruit him if I was at Maryland. Are you kidding me?
I don't even know who was even the coach at Arkansas. Chad Morris?
Well, that's out-recruited, so they're paying the players.
Just means more, Chris.
Out-recruited.
Just means more.
Who was even the coach at Georgia Tech?
Jeff Collins, great coach.
Yeah, him. Out-recruited Mel Tucker.
Yeah, well, you know who he did out-recruit? Mark D'Antonio. That's all I care about.
Okay. So let's take a look at where were they in the Pac-12 in terms of recruiting. They're Oregon. You got them in front of them. Embarrassing.
They were ahead of USC.
Okay, that's very hard.
I think I was ahead of USC by not recruiting anything.
You got Arizona State in front of them. You got UCLA in front of them. You got fourth in the Pac-12. It's embarrassing.
4 teams? That's damn good, because Colorado's at the bottom 3 in the Pac-12.
Yeah, congratulations. Michigan State will go from being the fourth, a couple years ago, being the fourth best program in the Big 12, to Big 10, to being the fourth best program in the Big 10. Wow. Really,
listen, we will have a consistent top 30 class, top 25 class, and you need...
Colorado, guess who's number 1 in that state? Colorado. Guess who's number 1 in the state of Michigan? Michigan.
What?
So there's, it's an ineffective hire, I believe. What was that point you just tried to make?
I have no idea.
Listen, it's easy to recruit in the state of Colorado.
Really?
Yeah, there's no other competition.
Colorado State.
Are you kidding me? Air Force.
Air Force. Okay.
Colorado State has more winning seasons in the past 14 years than Colorado.
So, I'm not going to say he's a bad coach or anything, but I think that I'm not going to say he's a bad recruiter either. I'm not going to say I wouldn't be surprised. I said maybe he goes to Michigan State, maybe he goes and wins 10 national championships. I'm not going to rule anything out,
He will. Trust me. The national championships will be rolling in a couple of years.
Based off of nothing, it's ridiculous. That's the point I want to make.
Well, he was recruiting at the top level at some of the best schools in the country. I think he knows how to recruit. It doesn't take a genius to know how to recruit.
All right, let's move on. We'll start with Ohio State. They are the highest ranked of our 3 teams. Let's go! We're back, baby.
Like Coach Wade said about the Civic Center, Ohio State's back in the top 25.
Ohio State defeats Rutgers and Purdue and hops into the rankings.
Yes. It was a huge week. We needed to get the wins. We had both at home, I believe. Getting Rutgers at home was huge. That was a huge win. It's going to look a lot better, too, because Rutgers is going to go undefeated at home, because apparently the RAC is just the hardest place to play in the country this year. So that's going to be an inflated win. That's going to make it look a bit better. And the Purdue win, it doesn't look great, but it's a solid win just to help get up in the standings in the Big Ten, try to get at least one bye, if not the double bye, by the end of the year.
Yeah, if only people cared about the Big Ten tournament. I think Pat Chambers might be the only coach that cares.
Well, it's not about the Big Ten tournament as much as it is.
It is about the Big Ten tournament.
Move up on the seed line.
No, it is about the Big Ten tournament.
Did you see what Pat Chambers said? He says he has to prepare his team for the Big Ten tournament.
Short, the camera could
He's right. Right.
Nobody cares about the Big Ten tournament.
I do.
Yeah, well, Tom Izzo's won. What has he won? Tom Izzo's won 7 of those things. He still doesn't care about it.
It's very important.
Yeah, just like Urban Meyer only cared about winning Big Ten championships. He didn't care about winning the national championship. So that's why Ohio State didn't win more.
It's a fair point. Listen, Good job by Ohio State taking care of business. But that's all it was. They took care of business, did a good job.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be in the top 25. Not quite that good. Well, I mean, every Big Ten team should be in the top 25, but if we're going by AP terms, not sure if they're not good enough to get in quite yet. Who have they beaten in terms of really solid Big Ten teams? I mean, that Michigan game looks good, but who else have they beaten? If you want to say Penn, I'll give you Penn State in November, but besides that.
Are you talking just Big Ten teams? They beat Michigan? They beat Penn State?
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it, I think.
Yes.
Indiana's a really good team.
Indiana's not going to make the. It's just a tough year for Indiana, unfortunately.
But they beat Rutgers, a solid team. But it's more of a non-conference schedule this year. Beating Villanova, beating Cincinnati, beating UNC you won, but beating Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky, who's like 30th in the net rankings.
That doesn't mean anything like that.
Yeah, it does. Michigan State was. Michigan State's like 10th in the net rankings.
Now you start to sound like Chris. Your team is good in a ranking, so they're good. But if your team's bad, it's a horrible ranking.
Well, my team sucks, and we're still number 10 in the rankings.
Okay, Mike, is that all you have to say about Ohio State?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I don't really have much else to say. They're playing good basketball. They're doing what they need to do to make sure they secure their NCAA tournament spot, winning the games they should. They're gonna. They may beat Maryland next weekend. They're not gonna beat Iowa this week, though. No, we're gonna beat Iowa. We're not gonna beat Maryland. No. So they're doing what they need to do, but then they're not really anything impressive. They're gonna be out the first weekend. Nope, we're a second weekend team, just like UMass Lowell. Just like UMass Lowell. All right, we'll move to Michigan State now. I can't get over that. I'm sitting there watching the Ohio State UMass Lowell game, like the second game of the year. About 3 minutes into it, I go, this kid dropped 50 last time, and he's the reason why we're talking about UMass Lowell being a second weekend team.
Did you see Andy Katz did an interview with the UMass Lowell coach today?
Yeah, he sent the link. He said something about that being a second weekend team.
Yeah, Andy Katz said the UMass Lowell is they're peaking at the right time. They're playing better basketball now.
They're 11 and 16.
Yep, good team.
It doesn't matter.
Good enough to get an interview with Andy Katz.
They just beat Maine by 8. That's how you know they're bad.
Maine's good.
Maine's been playing close games with everybody this year.
Almost beat Vermont.
Maine's going to make the tournament this year. They're going to make the American East tournament.
Ooh, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, Michigan State. After a thrilling win over Illinois late in the game, they collapsed against Maryland. Reactions to these two games? Yeah, Michigan State's looking like an absolute joke recently. They're in embarrassment for the conference. Good analysis, thank you. That's all I have to say. What an embarrassment to the conference, being ranked number 1 after the season, being the favorite by far to win a national championship, and now they're not even ranked. Looking like a joke.
That's what happens when your second best player gets injured before the season even starts.
No excuses. Oh, here come the excuses.
No, you've been making excuses for Michigan all year long. Yeah, Michigan State, what is there to say? They're a bad basketball team led by a choker, led by a coach who has lost his touch, led by a program who is collapsing beneath itself at the moment. Just not a good basketball team. I think all Michigan State fans will agree with me. We do not deserve to make the tournament this year. We do not have a tournament resume. We have not beaten any good teams this year. We have beaten 0 good teams. And listen, you can have as many feel-good home games as you want. If you can't beat the good teams, you don't deserve to get in. So it's really as simple as that. And they got opportunities down the stretch. I don't see them winning any of them because this team can't. If they were up 7 on my preschool basketball team, they find a way to give up a 10-0 run and lose the game. So it's unfortunate. A lot of talent on the team, but a lot of choking on the team as well. So I think they should give up. They should cancel the season and focus on next year.
Redshirt everybody so we can all come back.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. I think, yeah.
All right. The Illinois win, as I called a few weeks ago, Illinois was going to collapse. I called that.
Oh, you called that Illinois was going to collapse. Oh, yeah, Chris.
Actually, we collapsed in that game.
It was an embarrassing loss for Illinois. They had that game, and then Michigan State took it back, and Illinois took it back at the end, and then they blew it again. And they even let Xavier Tillman make a shot at the rim late in the game, and he never makes shots at the rim late in the game. So that was embarrassing from Illinois. But, game that Michigan State had to have, so a decent one for them.
No, it was an embarrassing win.
Xavier Tillman at the local bar. He makes plenty of shots.
Okay. I was about to be very, impressed with Michigan State. I was going to say that was a very nice win over Maryland, but it was 60-53 with 2.5 minutes left, and everybody on the floor slapped the floor on defense, and then they proceeded to give a 14-0 run to close the game.
No shot. Actually, I expected that to happen. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when. And once it got to about 2 minutes left in the game, I knew it was over. Well, I knew it was over with 8 minutes to go. The only chance they had in the game was if they had a double-digit lead going into the final 8 minutes, and they couldn't do it. They actually took the lead with 10 minutes to go. And what do I say? Defense isn't good enough. Got to give credit to Cowan. Cowan, actually, he's peaking his senior year, something Cassius Winston doesn't know how to do, apparently. This is Maryland's year. I don't think anybody will deny that.
It's their year except for the fact that they're coached by Mark Turgeon.
No, he's doing a nice job.
They're winning despite of him. Don't mix things up. They're winning despite of Mark Turgeon.
Credit to Cowan, though, making shots at the end of the game. He made the big shots. And Winston was terrible in this game.
The only guy who shut up was Xavier Tillman.
Tough loss. They'll have an automatic win on Thursday, and
I think that. Listen, we'll get to that game. I'm picking Nebraska. I think Nebraska's a better team right now.
Is it at Nebraska?
Yeah.
Oh well, that's kind of a tough game then.
No.
I don't think we're going to win a single game to end the year, and I'm serious.
All right, we're gonna move on.
We're a bad basketball team.
Michigan defeats Northwestern and Indiana. Any reactions?
Yeah, same thing with Ohio State. These two teams are following the exact same path throughout the year. Started off red hot, then they couldn't win a game come conference play. Now they're kind of finding their way back, winning the games that they need to win. And we'll see if Michigan can get back into it. I heard they're bringing back John Beilein as an assistant coach now that he's about to be fired. So we'll get to that. We'll be getting to that later. But yeah, right now they're in the same position as Ohio State. They just need to win a bunch of these games out to try to get a double bye. At least a bye, if not a double bye in the Big Ten tournament to make a little run and try to get a higher seed.
Yeah, I think everybody knew looking at Michigan's schedule early in conference play they were going to struggle. And now later they're going to have a tough stretch to end conference play. But they have a ridiculously easy schedule that they've been going through right now, playing cupcakes night in, night out. And credit to them for getting it done. Who does Michigan play this week?
Well, they're at Rutgers and at Purdue.
Well, those are 2 cupcake wins for Michigan.
Okay, well, they'll lose to Rutgers, and they're not going to beat Rutgers.
Yep, they are losing both games. I think we can both.
I think they're going to beat Purdue.
I think they're going to lose both games. They might have a chance against Rutgers because Michigan tends to beat Rutgers every time they play them, but it's not looking good. Look at the schedule. They still got Ohio State on the road. They've yet to play Maryland, right? When they play Maryland?
Yeah, they play them on the road the last game.
Yeah, they're screwed. They're going to go maybe 8-12 in conference, maybe. We'll see.
Well, hold up. They're 7-7 right now. They beat Wisconsin at home and Nebraska at home. That puts them at 9-11. Yeah, Wisconsin's a tough game.
Oh, they play Wisconsin. Oh, tough game. Tough game.
Yeah, I think they're going 7-7.
I'm going 9-11, just because no reason.
Some embarrassing wins for Michigan this week. Northwestern, really bad team. Indiana, really bad team. But they got the job done, and they're playing better. You can tell. Livers is clearly making a difference.
Yeah, it's almost as like if you have your second best player, it makes your team better.
He's our best player, actually.
No, I disagree.
And,
Brandon Johns is better.
Okay. I'm not really going to talk about Northwestern game, although I was impressed with Eli Brooks, but Northwestern is a joke. Indiana, though, a really dominant performance, feel-good home game. A nice game for Wagner. Tips 12-11. Those are the games that he has to have. Only 7 shots. You don't want him shooting very much.
It's not good. He's just not a good player. Not a good player.
Brandon Johns played well. Austin Davis, these 2 games, very nice games as well. See, what's his face was doing the commentary on the Northwestern game? Yeah, Pat Fitzgerald. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, nice week for Michigan. All right. How many Big Ten teams are going to get in the tournament? I think most people have it right now at 11, but it's going to be. I think everyone can agree it's going to be either 10, 11, or 12.
I think Luke, it's going to be either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, or 14.
Yeah, well, Mike, your analysis today has been fantastic, almost to the level of Alex. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be 10. I don't think Northwestern, Nebraska, Minnesota, or Purdue are going to get in.
Really? You don't think Northwestern's getting in? That's a hot take.
Please. You have Indiana in the tournament? That's a joke. I think they'll be one of the last 4 in. I think they're going to lose out.
They could. They have a tough schedule.
No, they'll beat Minnesota at home, and then they get Illinois at home, and Minnesota at home again. So that gets them to 9. They play Minnesota at home twice? No, they play Minnesota on the road.
Well, Rutgers played Michigan at home twice.
Yeah, that's true. So that gets them 19 wins, and then they just need 1. They can't keep a 20-win Big Ten team out of the tournament. Well, they're going to win 16 games, so. Alrighty.
Yeah.
I think Purdue just has. They have what, 5 games left? They're going to lose 3 of them probably at Michigan, at Rutgers, and against Iowa. Plus a tough game against Wisconsin.
What are you looking at?
What?
Jesus. No, keep going.
I don't think Purdue's going to be over 500 come the end of the year, so they just can't get in.
Yeah, I think Purdue is going to be the ultimate test for the committee because Purdue is going to be hovering right at that 500 mark, maybe a little bit over. If they're under 500, they're not getting in. If they're over 500, it's going to be close because they have all the metrics. Love Purdue. I think they're top 20.
The tournament comes into play, Mike.
Of course, I'm factoring that in, but I think
the Big Ten tournament's so important.
No, I mean, it is for teams like Purdue, but it's not important for anybody else, really. But anyways, look at a team like Purdue, they're just tough schedule coming up. They need that win. They need a road win. They need one, probably. I think they could beat Wisconsin, where they play them tonight. That would be a big win. Just the problem with Purdue is they don't have enough scoring. They're going to beat Michigan. They're going to beat Indiana. Always beat Indiana. Iowa, they're going to lose to Iowa. Probably beat Rutgers. Yeah, I think they'll get in. Just look.
So they're playing at Rutgers.
It's home.
Oh, is it home?
Yeah.
I thought it was at Rutgers.
No. I'm going with 11. I don't think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Indiana.
The record isn't the record 11.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 11. I'm going on the limb. I'm taking 11.
Yeah, I've got 9. My locks to miss the tournament are Nebraska, Northwestern, Indiana. They have no chance. And I don't think Purdue's going to get in. I like Minnesota. Their schedule is favorable at the end of the year. They have some opportunities.
No one cares.
Especially at home.
Nobody cares if you schedule hard and lose. You got to win the games.
Yeah, no, they have opportunities at the end of the year here. Who are the 2 teams that everyone else has in that you don't think is going to get in? West, I told you I had 10. Oh, I thought you said 9. No, 10.
You said 9.
Oh, sorry. Well, I have 10. Indiana and Purdue, Nebraska and Northwestern are not getting in. And I think Minnesota is going to get in. To the Big Ten.
What favors 11 teams is every other league is just terrible. There are 0. The other leagues are terrible. The Big East is okay, but the rest are terrible.
Okay, I was going to go on a rant about the Big East, but we will cross that path a little bit later. All right. There are some reports that are looking truer and truer by the day that John Beilein is either going to step down. I just got an alert that they're still in conversation. Yeah, I just saw that. He's going to step down, or he's not going to be the coach of the team next year. Where is he going to coach next year? Okay, well, first of all, it was a huge mistake for him to take the Cavaliers job. I understand that everyone thinks...
You kidding me? Any ticket outside of that crap hole I'd take. Are you kidding me?
I don't blame him to go to the NBA. Cleveland, their owner sucks. They have one of the worst owners in the NBA. And I understand he probably didn't want to be on the road as much, and obviously it just has not worked out. The transition has not been as smooth as everyone thought it was going to be, or he obviously wanted it to be. But I don't know. I wonder if he still wants to coach. He might just call it done. I mean, because I don't. Or he might do the old Jim Calhoun and go coach a smaller team, 2 teams, 3 teams, maybe on D1 teams. I just don't think the problem is if he takes a large, I don't know if there's any large D1 jobs of his talent that are going to be open next year. Oh, I think there will be.
He's too old.
I have ideas, but I'll get to that.
I think UMaine should take a look at him. Listen, the NBA is a disgrace. How you can't let a man with the integrity and basketball knowledge of John Beilein, you won't let him coach you? It's an absolute disgrace. Kevin Love's a disgrace. Everybody on the Cavs is a disgrace. Who's the owner? Dan Gilbert, right?
Yeah.
Credit to Dan Gilbert, MSU alum, for taking away Michigan's head coach, hiring him for a year, and then firing him. That's probably a great business move.
It was actually the whole thing was planned by Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State and Michigan State collaborated with this. I think the Cavs will be going after Juwan Howard next year.
Oh, that'd be great.
But anyway, the NBA is a disgrace. Nobody respects anybody there. As for where John Beilein is going to coach, I think it's going to be in college. The problem with John Beilein is He is a little up there age-wise. I think that's going to turn some schools away from him.
Are you serious?
He kind of reminds me of Bob Knight at Texas Tech. Just wasn't the same.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's going to be like maybe Washington State. Oh, my God.
Listen.
It's unbelievable.
I think Texas is going to give him a look. I think Indiana, if they get rid of Archie Miller, is going to give him a look. I don't think Indiana.
Texas isn't a bad show.
I don't think Indiana's going to get rid of Archie. If they miss the tournament, they might think of it. But I think he's staying. Shaka's gone. I think Texas would take a look at him. But I don't think he recruits well enough for Texas to take him. So.
Yeah, but his MO isn't recruiting. It's more developing.
Yeah, well, nobody wants a Mark D'Antonio. They want a Jim Harbaugh. They want a guy who can recruit. I think if he wants to come back to college, it's going to be either Texas or maybe some lower-level job, maybe like a Washington State, maybe.
All right, so I'm okay. John Beilein, before I agree with Mike. Okay, the NBA is not a disgrace, but I am disappointed in the NBA.
It's a disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace.
How a guy like John Beilein, who is going to get his job taken away because he coaches fundamentals and is the best X's and O's coach I have ever seen. Maybe outside of Brett Stevens.
The NBA isn't about coaching. It's about a little bit of developing and just
it's about babysitting.
Managing. So that's not necessarily true. Look at Brad Stevens.
Yeah, he develops guys well, and he's a good X and O's coach. He doesn't. I wouldn't say coach him hard in practice. It's all about managing personalities.
Well, you look at John Beilein. Before he left to go to the NBA, he was the best X and O's coach in college, the best developmental coach in college. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that.
Okay, Chris. I will after you say something. I will talk about John Beilein.
But, no, he's the best.
No, he's not. Not even close.
Calipari. That's enough for another day. All right. I just want to. There's going to be some jobs open. As Mike said, Chuck Smart is out of there, and I think Texas is going to make a hard push for John Beilein, and I do think that's where he's going to end up. But if it's not there, Indiana, they should fire Archie Miller. He's a terrible coach. So things place people aren't really talking about. If Providence does not make a run here and make the tournament, I'm not going to be surprised if that Cooley is not the coach there next year. And if they hire John Beilein, I think I might go ballistic. But so you can go there.
Chris would no longer be a Michigan fan. He'd be all in on Providence.
He's not going to the Pac-12, so you guys keep talking about.
Why not?
I just put like a job like that, maybe down south in the warm weather.
Yeah, maybe like UCF. That'd be a good fit.
Well, Rick Barnes. Maybe if Rick Barnes gets booted,
all right.
then he goes to Tennessee.
I hate Rick Barnes, but he's not getting fired. He got unlucky with injuries this year.
If Mike White gets, they're not firing him.
Yeah, maybe Florida. Maybe Florida. That's a
Florida to make the tournament. That would be that's a job on his level. There's going to be some jobs open. He's going to get whatever job he wants.
The problem with Florida is Mike. He's like a way better version of Mike White, and I don't think Florida fans want a guy like that.
Maybe not.
They want a young, flashy guy that actually plays normal basketball.
TCU.
Huh?
How about Oklahoma State, Mike? You want that guy fired?
Maybe Syracuse if Boeheim decides to hang it up.
What about Oklahoma State?
Oh, that'd be a good hire. The problem with Oklahoma State is they don't pay enough. They don't care about their basketball coaches there.
I just can't imagine a school turning him down if they have an open job. I think he's going to go to UMass. Okay.
He's going to follow the anti-John Calipari role and go back to UMass.
All right. So we were talking about during the week, Mike, Luke and I had a spirited conversation about the biggest brands in college football and college basketball. And in the spirit of college basketball, we will go through the 6 conferences.
Power 5.
And talk about the biggest brands in each of those conferences. Just for basketball? Just basketball. All right. So let's start, shall we, with the Pac-12.
The Pac-12. For basketball, I think it's obviously tough. Obviously, they've been in the last. Obviously, UCLA's been down the last few years, but they have to be I think they're the only one. I mean, they have a shit ton of national championships. Oregon, I think, is the only one that can argue it, but I think UCLA is clearly the biggest brand in the Pac-12 for basketball.
There are zero brands in the Pac-12 for basketball. Nobody gives a crap about Pac-12 basketball. This isn't 1975. No one cares about UCLA. Arizona was a thing a couple years ago. They suck now. Just nobody. There are 0 brands. If you were to give me the one that's closest to being a brand, I would go with Arizona. But, I mean, Oregon, maybe. Oregon's not a brand either, though. They're a brand because they're nice color scheme. And listen, I think Mick Cronin could turn UCLA into a brand, but they're not even close to that yet.
No, all right, I'm going now. No. So 3 candidates here: UCLA, Arizona, and Oregon. But as Luke said, UCLA far and away. All right, let's move out of this conference before Mike says anything else about Mick Cronin.
He's the best coach in the conference.
Let's move to the lowly ACC.
This one's interesting because you have actually multiple contenders. Unlike with the Pac-12, there's pretty much there was pretty much just UCLA. But in the ACC, you have obviously Duke, you have UNC, you have the big guys, Syracuse. Even though they're more in the Big East, but now they're in the ACC, they're still a big brand. Louisville. No, I wouldn't put in that category. So I think you really have those 3. I think you have Duke, UNC, and Syracuse. And because I hate Duke, I'm Coach K, I'm not going to give it to them. And because Jim Boeheim's a murderer, I'm not going to give him to him. So I'm going to have to go with UNC.
All right. Well, the ACC's got a couple. I mean, listen. If we're gonna bring this back to the old Big East days, and if Luke's gonna go back to 1965 and talk about how UCLA's a brand, I'm gonna talk about how Pittsburgh's a brand under Jamie Dixon, winningest program in the Big East.
It can't be a brand when the Big East brought him into football. So.
Well, listen, Pittsburgh is a big brand because
I agree with Mike actually on that one.
Yeah, because of Jamie Dixon, and TCU's on their way as well. I think number 1's definitely Duke, not even close. Just how much they get shown on SportsCenter. North Carolina, not even close, but they're number 2. Louisville, they're a little brother in the state. No one really cares about Louisville. Really, like 3/4 of the people.
In the ACC too, they haven't been in the ACC long enough to establish themselves.
That's a fair point. Notre Dame, when they had Bonzie Colson and Boston College, what's his name? Kai Bowman.
I'm gonna go now.
Virginia Tech with Buzz Williams and that other guy. Miami, their football team rubs off on their basketball team. Wake Forest with Chris Paul. NC State won a national title with Jim Valvano.
All right. Luke proved my point here. It's Duke, and as much as I hate to say it, Luke said, I'm not picking Duke because I hate them. That's his point. You're the biggest brand if you're the most hated team. That's why Notre Dame is
so ridiculous.
No, but how do you think Notre Dame's the most hated team in football?
Oh, yes, they are.
No, I don't hate Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame.
That's a lie. So Duke, number 1, Carolina, number 2. Louisville's up there. Syracuse is up there. Boston College is up there. Okay.
Chris, Michigan is the most hated team in college football. It's not even close.
That's not true.
You're telling me Michigan's the number one brand in college football?
No.
Okay, so
Notre Dame's the most hated team.
you're
Notre Dame is the most hated team.
that is the stupidest thing I've heard in my life. We got to do a poll on Twitter. That is the most ridiculous statement I've heard. That's worse than Jesus. My God, that's.
Should we skip the Big 12 because it's obvious?
No.
No. Okay, great.
We're skipping the Big East though because they don't have a brand either.
Oh, Chris, you say the Big 12 is obvious. I don't know about that.
Really?
Yeah, I think Iowa State, Fred Hoiberg.
Okay, all right, here we go. Let's go.
Bobby Huggins at West Virginia.
All right, it's Kansas. We're moving on to the next conference.
Well, the problem with West Virginia.
How can it be Kansas when Texas Tech could hire Bobby Knight?
The SEC.
That's a good point. Texas Tech has had some rich coaching history. They have to be taken into account.
The SEC.
Listen, Texas had Kevin Durant and Shaka Smart. I think we have to keep them in the conversation. I think we need to look at teams. We need to look at Oklahoma State.
The SEC is more obvious than the
No, it's not true. There's some big brands in the SEC.
it's Kentucky.
Okay. Mike, who do you say in the SEC?
Well, it's Kentucky because they're the biggest fan base. I think that has to go into things as well. We talking about brand.
Blue ball nation.
But, I look at teams like Vanderbilt. I think they're on the come up, no doubt about it. Look at teams like
Jerry Stackhouse, right?
Yeah. Look at teams like Ole Miss. Those fans at Ole Miss really care about basketball. You can tell by their attendance. Listen. No. Well, A&M had Mark Turgeon, so they don't count. Way back in the day. Anyways, but if there's two, there's Kentucky, there's Florida. Florida's fallen off, so it automatically goes to Kentucky.
It is Kentucky. Florida's number 2. But one program we didn't really talk about yet is Georgia. And I know
Tom Crean.
Is this because you just watched the 30 for 30 on him?
What?
Is this because you just watched the 30 for 30 of him?
No, it's because you said Tom Crean was a great coach a couple of years ago.
Tom Crean is a great coach.
He is a terrific coach.
By the way, I forgot to mention another team possibly for John Beilein. I saw something on Twitter today about people were talking about Mississippi State possibly moving on from their coach, so that could be a possibility for Beilein.
Yeah, okay.
All right, next conference, Big East.
Obviously, there aren't really any big brands in the Big East anymore. It's a new conference, just founded, 6 years ago? So it's hard to establish a brand in 6 years. But in the 6 years they have been playing, I guess I'll have to give it to Villanova because they have the most national championships.
I don't think Villanova won national championships, but I don't think they're a big brand.
No, Georgetown.
Yeah, you might be Georgetown.
Yeah, Georgetown has won anything since the 1980s with Patrick Ewing. Let's calm down. But
well, they have Patrick Ewing now, Mike.
I think the point is
he's probably the best player. When they're doing introductions, he's probably the best player on that bench. Still.
Yeah, that's true. When I look at teams in this Big East, basically the new Big East was all the teams that couldn't make it in football. So basically the worst Big East teams from the old Big East are in this Big East. Seton Hall they win a national championship in 1990 or whatever. But let's be honest, Seton Hall hasn't been relevant since Bill Raftery left in 1977. Villanova made a national championship in the 80s. They just won 2 the past 4 years. I give them credit. They just, brand, you have to look at recruiting. Recruiting is big when you talk about brands. They don't recruit well enough to be a brand.
That has nothing to do with anything.
Marquette, definitely not a brand, not even close. Butler is number 4 in the state, so they're definitely not a brand. Providence, number 2 in the state in Rhode Island, which is a joke. What is Xavier, number 3 or 4 in Ohio? Maybe number 2. You could argue number 2.
Well, Providence is behind Bryant, so.
Exactly. And Georgetown is behind George Washington in D.C. Have to keep that in mind.
And Howard.
And Howard, yeah.
All right.
St. John's. I think I'm going to go on the limb. I think it's the ball.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good pick. Because I love the Big East so much, I'm going to rank the brands 1 to 10 from this conference. Oh, Jesus.
I can't wait for this.
So, number 1, okay, I get to Villanova. National championships for the last couple of years. Number 2 is Georgetown because of their success.
Yeah, because of their success in the 80s, yeah.
Number 3 is St. John's.
Hey, Chris. Remember when that Georgetown guy threw it right to the North Carolina guy in the national championship?
Number 3 is St. John's. They had that past success.
Yeah, we're moving on. You're telling me St. John's is number 3.
No, I'm not done yet. Let's see here. Number 4, got to give it to Seton Hall. Had some success in the past. Very good right now.
Yeah,
New York market. Number 5, I give it to Butler. Brad Stevens helped elevate that brand. No, it was all in the back of Chris Holton.
They're really number 4 in the state. Number 4.
Number 6 is DePaul. They've had some success in the past.
Yeah. One tournament in 20 years.
Let's see here. Number 7, I'm going to give it to Providence.
Okay.
It's just.
Okay, at least Providence was in the old Big East. You can't rank a team that wasn't in the old Big East over a team that was. That's ridiculous.
They just did.
That's absurd.
Providence, a rich and storied program, as we know. Number 7. Number 8, I give to Creighton. Very good team. Always very good.
Number 2 in Nebraska in terms of brand.
Number 9 is Xavier. They've been a 1 seed. They were 1 seed under Chris Mack. Not much before that.
Even number 9? It's Sean Miller before him.
So who cares?
Jesus Christ.
Number 10 is Marquette. Not much of anything in the past, but still.
Listen, at least Marquette was in the old Big East. At least.
A rich program. Okay, let's move on. Big 10. Well, now everyone knows I love the Big 10 so much, so I'm going to go 1 through 14, rank every single team brand. No, but I think the Big 10 has, I think, two contenders for it, maybe a third. I think Indiana and Michigan State are probably your top 2 for basketball, and I think Ohio State probably maybe has an argument just because they have a shit ton of money and they have the most money. All right, Ohio State has no argument being in front of Michigan. They have no argument.
Yes, they do. They are. I would put them ahead of Michigan.
No. Ohio State has just because of the money. They have the most money in the country. Any other matter in the country.
Chris, I can't put a team who didn't play in the 1990s ahead of Ohio State. They didn't play a single game in the 1990s.
That's why when Chris coaches his youth team, he never calls a timeout because he has PTSD from when Chris Webber did it. Well, I think it has to go to Indiana.
Well, let me just say before I say who I think the bigger brands are in the Big 10, I think the Big 10 has by far the best fan bases in the country. No conference comes close in terms of fan bases. Every state has its fans. Listen, you could be Rutgers. Look at Rutgers. They were terrible, and then now this year all their fans are coming out, making the RAC a tough place to play. Minnesota traveled to that Outback Bowl way better than Auburn did. So they're very good fan bases as well. We all know how great Northwestern is in terms of fans. I don't listen.
Well, play the clip from a couple weeks ago, and that will show you all their fans. Okay, no,
Mike. Save me a sec.
The closest thing to a blue blood, the closest team to a blue blood, is Indiana, just based on history. Although they've kind of turned into UCLA.
You just spent the past 5 minutes saying, who cares what happened in the 80s? Who cares what happened in the 60s? Who cares what happened in the 90s? And now you're like, Indiana has this rich history.
Yeah, I don't think there's any brands in the Big Ten. But the closest thing is Indiana. Number 2, I put Purdue. Number 2, they've just been so consistent. Been so consistent over the years. Most Big Ten championships. Great coaching trees. Gene Cady, great coach. And then you got Matt Painter, came after him, also a great coach. Number 3, I think
Okay, we don't need you listening the entire thing.
I'm not listening. I'm just, the teams that are closer to the top. I would put, it's a close one. I think I'd put Michigan State, number 3. Maryland's number 4, but the only reason why is because they won a national championship in 2002. Haven't really done much since. Ohio State.
Recruited Big Tanner Medley, the best player to ever be recruited.
Ohio State's coming, then Wisconsin, Michigan, those teams. Rutgers. Could keep going. But one team that I know is at the very bottom is Penn State. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, because I love the Big Ten so much, I'm going to list what's about 1 to 14 here. No. So we'll start at the top. With obviously Michigan State, no question there.
That's ridiculous.
Number 2 is Indiana. I put Michigan number 3.
What?
Ohio State number 4. Purdue number 5.
Crack. Absolute crack.
Maryland number 6. Let's see here. Wisconsin number 7. Illinois number 8. Rutgers number 9. Iowa number 10. Let's see. Nebraska 11. Minnesota 12. Penn State 13. Northwestern 14. For Big Ten brands. Well, Northwestern made the tournament earlier. Has made it in the last 5 years.
Yeah. It was their one tournament in school history. So.
And Penn State hasn't. So that's a fair point.
Well, they have.
Only like. Well, I don't like Blue Bloods. I don't like would actually say that his top 4 Blue Bloods this year are Baylor, Gonzaga, Kansas, and State.
No.
No, because that's how Mike looks at Blue Bloods. That's his
I think Gonzaga is getting close, but they're not there. Baylor, no one cares about Baylor basketball. Big Ten, I don't know how you don't have Purdue up there. That's a joke. Most Big Ten championships, you've got to honor that. And they have the best home court advantage.
No.
It's ridiculous.
Okay,
absolutely ridiculous.
Any teams or any winners or losers of this week that you guys want to shout out before we do the picks?
No.
A huge winner, Ohio State, came themselves back in the Big Ten race, in the conversation. And the big loser this week was obviously Michigan. Because the John Beilein story came out, and that just shows how bad of a program Michigan is, hiding all this stuff that John Beilein did, calling players racial slurs and all of that. Shows how that did not happen. The program Michigan is. Yeah, it came out, they did it with Cleveland. You think that was the first time he's ever done it? That did not happen.
Yeah, listen, there needs to be an investigation, just like Michigan State, and it needs to be called Beilein Secrets, the secrets of John Beilein, what this monster hid behind the veil for countless years.
All right, I'm going to
go. My winner is going to have to be the University of Maine. A pretty good week for UMaine. Lost close couple games. My loser, my loser, I got a couple losers. I got Archie Miller. I've been hyping up Archie Miller. Not quite the season he wanted. I mean, they still got an opportunity to get in. But it's not looking too good right now. My other loser is going to be Michigan State because we suck and we don't deserve to make the tournament.
Yeah, Archie Miller, a great loser. Trace Trace Jackson Davis. Wow, really got him involved against Michigan. Great coaching from him.
Okay, let's not act like Trace Jackson Davis is the second coming of God.
He's their best player.
No, he's not.
He is.
Devontae Green's better.
No. You got Michigan State, obviously, is a loser. Colorado's a loser for blowing that game against Oregon. They let them go on a 20-0 run. And let me do my Big East breakdown here. That's showing a couple teams. Tough week for Seton Hall. Lost to Creighton at home. They lost to a really good Providence team. And Providence, watch out. If they win out, and maybe they win a game or two in the Big East tournament, they can win. They can make the tournament.
Yeah, if Northwestern wins out, they will make the tournament as well.
So, Providence, big win against Seton Hall. Very nice win. Alpha Diallo, great game. And you look at...
I think Alpha Diallo should change his name to Beta Diallo because he's a beta.
Okay. Very nice week for Creighton. They may be the best team in that conference. They're playing really well. Okay, let's get to the picks as we go over the standings here. I have jumped back into first place after a brief absence. 16-8 for me on the week. Mike 13-11 since 2 games back. Alex 15-9 this week, also 2 games back. Luke with the best week of all of us. How about the applause button for Luke? 18-6 for Luke, but he's still 11 games back. Doesn't matter if I win the Big Ten tournament. All right. Let's get to the picks. Illinois at Penn State. Penn State caught this game. I don't want to even pick that game because I hate both teams. Penn State.
Yeah. Do we know how long Io's out? I don't think is he playing in this one?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Penn State.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Penn State, they're at home, and as we know, the tough home court advantage. Just ask Juwan Howard. Dayton at VCU.
Dayton. VCU is a tough place to play them.
Dayton in a landslide. Not even close.
Yeah, I like VCU in this game. They're trying to work their way back into the tournament.
Yeah, I did not pick VCU at Lincoln.
Point. Creighton at Marquette. Creighton.
Yeah, give me Creighton. I think Marquette's a joke.
I think Marquette's playing a little bit over their heads right now. They are ranked. I don't think they're that good. I'll take Creighton.
All right, another meaningless Big East game. Nice.
The 2 ranked teams. Oh, yeah, to be fair, that's a decent game to pick.
I think we should just throw out rankings are complete and utter BS. The AP rankings should be abolished. They are the stupidest type of rankings out there. No one gives a crap about top 25 teams in the Big East. Nobody does. Nobody gives a crap. I think a Big East team should never be allowed in the top 25 unless they're undefeated.
All right. The next game, Chris? Baylor at Oklahoma.
This isn't really a great game. I haven't actually seen Baylor play yet this year, but obviously it's the number 1 team in the country. And they only beat Oklahoma by 4, but that was at Oklahoma, so I'll take Baylor.
Well, considering this game is Baylor at Oklahoma.
Bullshit.
Well, Luke must be blind because he can't read the results.
I'm still taking Baylor.
Yeah, listen, I've been picking against Baylor all year. I'm going to take Baylor this time. And they're going to lose to Oklahoma, but I'm picking Baylor.
Yeah, I can't pick against Baylor. I'll take them. Kentucky at LSU.
Kentucky.
We all know how Will Wade does. He pays off his players, pays off the refs. That's why they're always in it to win the SEC title. It's not their year, though. I'm taking, Kentucky's on, what are they, like 30th in the net rankings? They're not quite up there. Haven't really done much.
Doesn't matter. John Calipari's the winner.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on the limb. I'm taking LSU.
No, I'm done with LSU. Give me Kentucky. Butler at Seton Hall. Jesus Christ. This for bad game. I'll take Seton Hall, I guess.
Yeah, this game's not even going to be close. Seton Hall coming off of 2 embarrassing losses. I'm taking Seton Hall.
Yeah, bad week for Seton Hall. They're going to win this game big. And by the way, that would send Butler to 7-7 in conference. And they play at Creighton at the end of the week. They could be under 500 in conference.
Yeah, did I not tell you this was coming? I knew when they were like 6-0 in conference. I knew they were going to pull in Illinois and lose out basically.
Yeah, they're last. They have 2 cupcakes after that. They're at Xavier after that, so they're going to make a tournament. But
yeah, I hope so. They started like 17-1. I hope they make the tournament.
Okay, Auburn at Georgia. Oh God, Auburn. I don't think Georgia's very good.
I don't think Auburn's very good. I'm taking Georgia. Give me what's that guy's name? Anthony Edwards put up like 57 on Michigan State. I think he'll do the same thing in this game. And Tom Crean's a great coach.
I don't think Auburn's great either, but Georgia's very bad.
No, Georgia's a very good
I
team.
don't like Auburn. I don't like Auburn, and I don't like Georgia even more, so I'll take Auburn. Michigan at Rutgers.
Rutgers. They haven't lost at home yet, have they?
Nope.
No.
So the stats would tell you that they're going to win at home because they've never lost. So I'm taking Rutgers. I still can't get over the fact that they're 18-8 overall, and they're 17-0 at home. They've won 1 game not at home.
Yep. Wait a second. Let me see. Who they just beat somebody pretty good. Yeah, they got a nice win against Illinois at home. I think that's going to carry over. I think they're going to handle Michigan pretty easily. I'm going with 42-39. I think someone's going to stall the basketball. Probably Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard's probably going to try to stall it and then realize there's a 30-second violation, and then he'll throw out his game plan in the middle of the game.
Yeah, Michigan's going to keep this close. They're playing really well right now, but Rutgers isn't losing home. I'll take Rutgers. All right, Duke at North Carolina State.
North Carolina State's sneaky good this year. I haven't been able to watch much of Duke because I hate them and I hate Coach K. But NC State just lost to BC, so I'm going to take Duke.
Yeah, this is a stupid game. NC State's terrible. Lost to North Carolina. Although Kevin Keats is up there, I think he's one of the best coaches in the conference, no doubt about it. But just not good. Not a good team. I'm taking Duke, who's also my national championship pick.
Okay. I will also take Duke. The ACC is a joke. Another embarrassing opponent.
I thought you were going to take NC State. What happened to that?
Yeah, I changed my mind.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, next game. Villanova at the Ball.
Okay, we're taking this game off.
No. Take a pick.
Villanova.
Okay. No.
This is ridiculous. I can't. What is DePaul 1-12 in conference? Are you kidding me? 1-11. This is.
Remember all the hype at the beginning of the year? Look at DePaul.
All right, Mike, how are you in for DePaul?
I'll take Villanova, but let me just tell you right now that this game is a joke, and the conference is a joke, and DePaul's a joke, and they're shameful. They are a disgrace to the game of basketball.
Michigan State at Nebraska.
Michigan State.
Yeah, this is an easy pick for me. I'm taking Nebraska. They're a better basketball team.
Okay. I'm going to take Michigan State. Nebraska is a joke. Let's see. Ohio State at Iowa.
Ohio State.
Okay. Yeah, Iowa's just a different team at home. I'm taking Iowa.
Taking Iowa. Very nice win for Iowa against Minnesota this week. 2 us people like Mike from talking about the Fran fade.
Here's the problem. Luka Garza is going to get locked down by Kyle Young.
Have to watch out for that.
Okay. Oregon and Arizona State.
Oregon.
Yeah, I know Chris's favorite coach for Arizona State, Danny Hurley. Oh, wait, is it Bobby Hurley? Chris doesn't know. Although I know. It's Bobby Hurley, not Danny Hurley. You would think Chris would know his Hurleys, considering he's a big UConn fan. Anyways, I'm taking Oregon. I think this is a stupid game once again. No one cares about the Pac-12. The projections to have 6 Pac-12 teams in the tournament are jokes. The Pac-12 is once again inferior to the West Coast Conference for the second straight year.
I will take Oregon because I like Oregon. Okay, Kansas at Baylor. Baylor because they're at home.
I'm taking Kansas. Finally, this is the game that they lose, I think.
Yeah, I just can't pick against Baylor. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost this game. Just can't do it. Baylor.
Baylor's going to win out and lose in the first round of the tournament to a 16.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, maybe not the first round. They'll lose to an 8 seed. Maybe Michigan State down at the 8 line. We'll see.
Michigan. All right. Oh, here's a good game. Marquette at Providence. Marquette.
Yeah, I can't pick. No way. I'm taking a Dave Cooley team. I'm taking Marquette.
Okay. So I bet this is the third straight week that Providence is hosting a ranked team, and this is going to be a third straight week.
A quote-unquote ranked team.
This is going to be the third straight week that I've been slandered for taking Providence. I'm taking them, by the way. They beat Creighton at home. They beat Seton Hall at home. I took them both times, and I'm taking them again. This is going to be a tough week for Marquette. It's going to be 2 losses. But, they'll bring my term. They're fine. They will be 7-7 in conference by the end of the week. Okay, West Virginia at TCU.
West Virginia.
Yeah, talk about how stupid the committee is. How about putting okay, this was like 3 weeks ago, but how about putting a West Virginia team with less Quadrant 1 wins, with more losses, and also playing in the Big 12 over Maryland in the top 16. The committee should be shaming themselves. And now you look at West Virginia, and they're almost, 7-6 in conference? They are absolutely falling apart from the seams. I love Coach Huggins, but he just doesn't have the talent. I'm taking the great Jamie Dixon. No, I'm taking West Virginia.
Okay. I'm also going to take West Virginia because the Big 12 is a joke. Houston at Memphis.
Houston. I think Memphis is kind of falling off.
They're awful. They're so bad.
Yeah, they have fallen off, but this is an upset moment. I'm taking Memphis.
Memphis is so bad. They lost some SMU or something the other day.
SMU's not bad. Didn't Houston lose to SMU?
Houston lost to SMU. I was trying to figure out who did
UConn.
Memphis lose. Oh, UConn. Never mind.
Yeah, the great Bobby Hurley. Yeah.
6-6 in conference, Memphis. And watch out for UConn, by the way. They're going to make a run here. They're going to win out. They're going to win out, and then they're going to...
Are they going to have a half-court buzzer beater in the American tournament?
Yep, then they're going to win the American tournament. You can mark that down right now. That is my pick for the American tournament, UConn. Okay.
Well, you also picked Rutgers a couple years ago, too, so...
Okay. Villanova at Xavier.
Villanova.
Yes,
That's
listen.
another dumb game.
As much as I like Travis Steele, I can't pick against Villanova right now. They're a talented team. They got a big win over Temple earlier this week.
Yeah, this is around the time Villanova gets hot. Xavier got a big win yesterday over St. John's, so they're going to come out and lose this game to Villanova. Villanova will be ready to go, and this is the game they win on the road. Tough environment. I'll take Villanova.
Sorry, did you just put big win and St. John's in the same sentence?
It was at MSG. So it's a big win.
Oh, it's easier to win there.
Like real home court.
Michigan at Purdue.
I'll take Purdue in the upset.
It's not an upset. Purdue will be favored, and they will just clobber Michigan. You see, when those home fans are motivated, you can't win there. It's absolutely impossible to win there.
Yeah, I'll take Michigan. They're playing too well right now to lose twice this week. I'll take Michigan.
Yeah, well,
Florida State at NC State. Florida State. I really like Florida State. I really liked them beginning the start of the season. I still really like them. I think they are going to make a run in the tournament. So, yeah, I'm taking Florida State.
I like Florida State also. Just the problem with them is the brand isn't big enough. They're going to get screwed over in their region because they don't have a big brand. It's going to happen. We'll see if it really cripples them. It hasn't really crippled them the past couple of years, but it will. It'll cripple them one of these years. They'll beat NC State. They play the same. These two teams play the same exact type of play, full court press. But the problem with it for NC State is they have zero good players besides Markell Johnson on that roster. I'm taking Florida State.
Florida State. Oregon and Arizona. Oregon.
Yeah, 0% chance Oregon wins 2 games on the road in the state of Arizona. I'm taking Arizona.
Well, if they're going to lose one of them, it's going to be to ASU because Arizona loses every single big game on their schedule.
Not true. What about they beat Illinois?
Okay, that was in like November.
Oh, we're going to throw November in the trash, huh? Let's throw the Michigan State-Virginia Tech game in the trash as well.
I'll be taking Oregon in this game because I like Oregon. Gonzaga at BYU. I'll take Gonzaga. The Mormons aren't allowed to cheer, so it gives them no home court advantage.
I agree with you, Luke. Going with the Gonzaga because everybody on BYU is 30 and married, and they can't be motivated to play.
I'm going to take Gonzaga because Michigan is their only loss right now, and I want it to stay that way. All right, with 3 games left now, Penn State and Indiana. Penn State.
Listen, the words Big Ten title and Pat Chambers just in the same sentence, it just doesn't work, does it?
They're not going to win the Big Ten title, but
yeah, Maryland's in the driver's seat right now. But wait, let me look at the schedule. Who does Penn State play to end the year? They play Illinois at home Yep, they got 2 tough road games at Indiana, at Iowa. They have a shot. And wait a second. Who does Maryland play to end the year? Maryland has the luxury.
I'd rather than see Penn State win the Big Ten.
Okay, Maryland. Listen, Maryland could lose. They could lose to Ohio State. They could lose to Minnesota. They could lose to Rutgers. Penn State could be in this thing. That's why I can't take Penn State in this game. I'm taking Indiana. I think Archie gets his team in the tournament. That's why I'm taking 11 teams to make it.
Yeah. Indiana is a disgrace. I'll take Penn State in a blowout. Maryland at Ohio State. Obviously the home court advantage in the Big Ten is big this year. I don't think Ohio State has a huge home court advantage, or at least not as big as some of the other places. I think almost their stadium or their arena is almost too big. But I can't pick against Ohio State just because then when I watch the game, I'd be rooting against them. So I'm taking Ohio State.
I'm taking Maryland's, although I think Ohio State could match up with them pretty well. But I'm taking Maryland because you two picked Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State. At home, the streak has to come to an end for Maryland at some point. Give me the Buckeyes. All right, last game, Butler at Creighton. Creighton.
Yeah, easy game to pick. Creighton in a landslide. I think Butler has no talent. They're decently coached. That's how they were able to get through the first part of the season. But they have no talent, so that kind of hurts them. I'm taking Creighton in a blowout.
Yeah, that usually does hurt most teams. They have no talent.
Yep, just look at Michigan.
Butler. I'm going to take Butler in this game. I can't fathom them going under 500 in conference.
I can.
So I'm going to take Butler. I'm sure you can. I'm taking Butler. Anything else to add before we finish? Michigan sucks.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody who didn't believe in Michigan State football. You will be so wrong.
All right, that's going to do it.
Michigan State football, 2023, Big Ten champs.
Shout out to my guy Joe Burrow. Yeah, shout out to Joe Burrow. That's going to do it.
Shout out to Brian Lewerke, the greatest quarterback in school history.
All right. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a full crew, but we all know that's unlikely.
Yeah, we'll see if Alex gets a new phone so it actually sounds good when he talks.
We'll see if Luke will have a phone to use. Yeah, I have a phone. I swear to God, my phone too. Okay, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. #Android Gang.